It's already August, or August is upon us. I can't believe it, but you know what that means? It is the mark of the beginning of Advent calendar season. So a lot of the popular Advent calendars for the holiday season start dropping, August, a little before then, sometimes a little after, but this is around the beginning of the season. We are going to talk today about all of the calendars that I know of that have already dropped as far as a wait list or a pre-order list. And we're going to talk about which ones can we access in the US, what are the customs and duties looking like on all of these, as it is a very different year this year with the tariffs. So we're going to chat all about it. It's going to be a very long, comprehensive guide of everything that I know so far for all of the popular beauty advents. So go ahead and get comfortable, kick back, and we're going to dig right on into it. All right, guys, so welcome back to the channel. I'm Cher, and I cover a lot of different beauty boxes on my channel. I do a lot of different beauty curations and reviews and whatnot, but beauty boxes are huge, and advent calendars are even huger. That is such a popular time. I really had not done a lot of them until last year. I had really started looking at them. I brought you guys a few videos on them too. I had not started ordering ahead of time enough to get a lot of them, but I really wanted to do that this year. And then everything changed on us. And that is because of the US tariffs. Now, there have been policy changes that are definitely hugely impacting us, specifically here in the beauty industry. And the reason this is so huge is because, to be quite frank, the best beauty advent calendars, pretty much all of them are out of the UK. They're all out of London, guys. Everything that's good, at least all the ones that are like so much bang for your dollar, the really high value boxes with good mixes of full sizes and deluxe and not just, so-so, they're all out of the UK. And so it's making it very tricky with the tariffs now. The duties are all going to be different per advent calendar. So what I've been doing is I've been trying to kind of research and go one by one to each of them and see what does it mean for this one? What does it mean for that one? So I'm going to kind of start walking you guys through everything that I know so far. Which is a whole lot of nothing. There's some things that are very confusing, and I think because it's so new, so many people don't really know a lot of things at this point. So let's walk each box one by one. I'm going to kind of cover first the UK ones and us talk about this tariff situation. And then I'll kind of walk through the ones that I know that are US based specifically, so we're not going to have to worry about the tariffs so much. And then we'll talk about the ones that are kind of more brand specific. All right, so let's first talk in general about the tariffs. I want to kind of give you a good idea about how they work. So first, I am going to clarify, I am not a math person. I am not an economist. I know nothing about it. This is all very confusing to me. I've been trying to dig through everything, and my husband is actually a CPA. So I've been trying to talk to him about it. I went ahead and started talking to him about a possible trip myself, going personally to London, to go and see if I can work with these brands or go myself and pay for them, whichever one, or just go in person in store and try to check out as many of the advents as I can. And it may be that I cannot bring them back into the United States because I'm still going to have to pay duties on them and declare them, because this is kind of for business purposes for me, but at least go over there and film from there directly. And any chance to go to the UK, I'm good with that because I'm obsessed with the UK. If anybody's been around here, you'll know my love of Scotland, but I would love a trip to London too. I have been considering this. I'm not going to promise it, but I'm starting to try to research and see if it's a possibility to be able to bring all of these advents to you from London. But I've been talking to my husband about it, and even he's like, it's wrapping his brain around in pieces to try to figure out what all of this means. It's so new, nobody knows. What I can gather is we have a baseline increase of 10%, basically 10% tariffs that went up for UK. And there was a negotiation between the United States and the UK. So it should be like 10% from what I'm reading. So basically you've got a customs amount, a duty amount, a separate like delivery fee, sometimes a transaction fee from different carriers that are like kind of third parties, plus taxes. So you add all of that up and all of these make huge extra fees. So there's a lot of pieces and parts and moving parts of this, okay? So in the UK, they have VAT fees, which are basically their import fees. And those typically are like anywhere from 0 to 25%. Typically those aren't really what we're paying though in the US, but like if you're over there, and sometimes like country to country, and some things depend on if you're in the EU or not. It's, yeah, lots of different complicated pieces. So in order to figure out what your like tariff fee is going to be, there's an actual website out there. You can plug it in and have a formula. And typically these beauty boxes are going to fall into the HTS code category under cosmetics and makeup, which is category 3304. But it also depends on like certain ingredients, the country, a lot of other things, the specific product. Anyway, this all just gets so confusing. But overall, you're going to find your duty amount by multiplying the customs value by the applicable duty rate. So you're going to see a variation in every box. And that's because each box and each company is going to handle these tariffs, customs or duties, whatever, all differently. Like some of them are going to go ahead and include it in the total price you owe, and some of them are not, and they're going to make it your responsibility. Some of them just decided not to ship to us at all because it's too unknown for them too. So it goes company by company. Okay, so typically what's happening is if we're ordering from a company, say like Cult Beauty, which is UK based, and we get a beauty box that's, I don't know, $30, which I don't know, more realistically might be 40, 50. So it's under 135 pounds, which for us is equivalent to about 180, 181, something like that. So if it stays kind of under that amount, usually we're not going to have to worry about the extra tariffs and stuff. It really kicks in when it starts going over the like $180 price tag, US dollar price tag. So, but a lot of the beauty advent calendars are well over that. They all tend to average around like 300s or so, the really good ones we're looking at. So, there's your problem, is that a lot of these are automatically triggering the tariffs. But we can tend to still get some of these boxes if they're not higher value boxes without all these extra fees. Now, sometimes there's a high delivery fee. We might be paying about $20 for international shipping extra, but that's very different from 100 something, like in the case of P. Louise, which we'll talk about when we get to. Okay, so that's a difference. There's a difference between your delivery fees versus these extra duties. So overall, it's basically the price of the box that's triggering us to have to pay the tariffs. And then this tariff rate. The tariff rate itself is probably going to be about the same, but the problem is, like for each box, if they're all coming out of the UK, right? But the problem is that the way they calculate customs value incorporates things like freight and insurance costs. So I think that's where it can vary so much, and maybe where the P. Louise price tag might be coming from. Pretty insane price tag. And I've been trying to figure out where this extra amount's coming from, but we'll talk, like I said, when we get to that part. So basically, I think that's where you're getting a lot of your variation is from the customs value maybe. And that's all built into a duty amount if they are going to lump the customs value with a duty rate. If any of this is making sense. All right, let's just get into the boxes now, and I'll try to give you examples of what this means for each box. And actually, I do want to mention one more thing, which is sometimes you might have separate couriers, like their international shipping couriers, might impose extra processing fees too, or fees to get through customs. And also there are intermediate people that you can actually use. There is a place called Forward to Me. It's an international shipping courier, and you can actually go through them. And there's some areas where you can get things tax-free. And it's because of like certain like islands that they use and ship to, and it's not taxed the same way as mainlands. I don't understand it all, but I do want to mention that if you want to look more into this place, it's called Forward to Me. So there's sometimes a way to get things that we normally can't directly through the company, but we could go to that service, if I'm understanding that correctly. If I find out more details about it, I will probably be bringing you guys a lot of part 2, part 3 videos. We're going to be talking advent calendars probably for the rest of the year here. So we're going to have a lot of info that I keep bringing. Also, let me know if you want me to do a separate advent calendar spoilers video for each advent calendar. Like we can go through and see in a specific detail what's in each box. Today is going to be a little bit more general. I want to just tell you what all's out there, a little bit about it, and how the duties work specifically. All right, so let's start off talking about the most coveted ones of all. I think what, in my opinion, are like the best value of the best and less accessible to us, unfortunately. The first one is Space NK. We'll go ahead and get that one out of the way. Now, unfortunately, they are not shipping to the United States at all right now. So that's for the smaller boxes too, not just for advent calendars. So according to Space NK, they're not shipping to the United States due to changes in U.S. tariff regulations. The company has temporarily paused e-commerce orders to avoid incorrect or additional costs for U.S. customers. So they're scared to even try to estimate how to handle it. So that's their way of handling the changes. They could change this. They could update later on. Nobody knows yet. But as of right now, that's how they addressed it. Now I have predominantly, United States audience, because I'm in the US. So, I do a lot of US boxes and things that affect Americans, but I do have a fair amount of folks in the UK, and I have a fair amount of folks in Canada. Those are my primary audiences. So for those of you who are not in the United States, you might still have access to it. So I'm still kind of covering it. So while I was taking notes, doing my research, Space NK had not put out their 2025 waitlist as of yet. However, I just heard at the time of my filming just now that they have just dropped the waitlist. So for those who are not in the United States who have access to it, go hop on. This is probably the best #1 calendar of like the entire year in 2024. That if there was any that I would recommend you get on, it is that one, because it was worth like $1,500 of retail value, and it was for like the price of, and was it like $300 still, but $1,500 worth of products, like 35 total products, and of those 23 were full size. So unreal deals in that calendar. So if you guys can access it, get it. Now here's the problem. If I go to the UK and I try to walk in and grab that calendar, and for any of you who might be considering going there to get it just for that calendar, my understanding is we still have to claim it in customs. We still can't just skate on by. That's called smuggling. So keep that in mind. Now certain things that are considered gifts, but if you come out with a giant box and you try to get through customs with it, I am not going to guarantee you that you can skate on by. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. I want to just let you know that. All right. So that's Space NK, the #1. I wanted to open with that because if there was any, I think that is the #1 most coveted calendar there is. Next, I am going to skip to P. Louise real quick and talk about P. Louise, because I think it's going to be easier to explain how some of these others work if we dissect the P. Louise first, because P. Louise is the one who we actually know the price value on the duties that we'd be paying. And so we can kind of look at that and back our way into the others. So let's talk about P. Louise, even though this is a one brand only Advent, whereas I wanted to kind of address the popular ones that cover so many brands and such a deal and all that. Now, P. Louise is still another coveted, amazing one, but that's the main thing is it's all P. Louise products. All right, so this year we've kind of got two options. One is going to be their Cruising Home for Christmas, 25 days of makeup, so probably 25, like 25 items usually for the 25 days. And then there's also the 12 Sleighs of Christmas. So my guess is 12 days here. They have done the pre-order, and there is now a US site pre-order as well. So we can access it, but we're going to pay hefty dollars to get it. All right. So the regular one is going to be $341. All right. The big one. And of course, last year it was so adorable. So many cute things. They had like the train. P. Louise puts a ton of products in there, like more than you could probably ever use for a year. It's just incredible. They have an entire like unboxing of the Advent calendar from last year on their channel. They have a YouTube channel. So if you want to check out all the products that were in it last year, it's their typical, you can't beat the packaging. Just so cute, just to die for, right? So the price point in US dollars is $341 for that big one. And then the 12 Sleighs of Christmas one is $85. All right. Here's how they're handling the duties though, okay? They're going ahead and they are kind of assuming our duties and building it in and almost like just charging us ahead of time so that we know exactly what we're paying and we don't get surprises later on as it's going to customs. So P. Louise is kind of taking the responsibility. They're kind of collecting those fees all at once from us and building it into that package. And the way that they're going to handle it if the duties change or if they were wrong in their calculations is they're going to refund us any differences in it. So it may change as it gets closer. Or it may be that as it truly gets calculated and they process everything and it gets through all the customs and all of that, that they might see it was actually less than that amount and then they'll refund us that and charge us a little less, okay? But they're going ahead and upfront telling us that for the bigger calendar, there's going to be a $32.50 delivery fee. But on top of that, that's different. The delivery fee is different than all the duties. There is a $119.50 duty fee. Wow, that is a lot of money. So overall, we're looking at $150 extra on top of the $341. So we're looking at a $500 calendar here. Yeah, if we are in the US. Then the smaller one, it would be a $32.50 delivery fee again. And this time it would be $52.50 for duties. Okay, so I've tried to go back and I've tried to understand where is this $119 coming from? Because if we look at the, I've tried to run it through the website for the Tariffs website to try to calculate all this and be like, okay, where am I seeing all this? There should just be like a 10% baseline on top of what it used to be. And so I think it used to be 5% at the most. So even if you're looking at like 15%, say like we were being charged 15%, well, 15% of 340 should still only come out to like maybe $50 at the most, right? So where's that extra like $70 coming from? All I can think of is since these calculations do include freight and insurance, all those extra incidentals, maybe it's all of that adding up, but I am not 100% sure. So if anybody else knows exactly how they've calculated that $119.50 fee, let me know. Because in my calculations, it should not be that high. It should be like half that, if not even half that, okay? Now, there's the delivery fee plus the duty. So it may just be such a high amount that we're looking at for freight and insurance. See, so what's interesting to me is the smaller one, you know, it's priced $85, whereas the bigger one's $341. So the bigger one is more than half. It's 3 times as much total price wise, but the duties are half. So it's like something's not translating right in the percentage, which tells me there's some fixed costs in there. You know, like the percentage should be adding up and it's not, you know what I mean? So the math isn't mathing for me. So I'm not sure where the $119 in duties came from. It's pretty hefty. So I think it's, like I said, is probably that they're valuing that total valuation of the freight and the insurance. I bet it's the insurance that's getting us, because that's a huge calendar. So that's P. Louise, okay? So we can access it, but we're going to pay hefty amounts for it. It is expected to dispatch somewhere between September and November. So that's your time frame. And that's about everything more I know on P. Louise. All right, so since we kind of discussed that breakdown, let's look now at Cult Beauty. All right, Cult Beauty. We don't have pre-orders yet, but we have a wait list, and it's probably going to launch like October. And of course, another UK one. Now, the way they are going to handle this one, last year it was priced at about 235 pounds, which for us in the US, that's equivalent to about 315, 316. They had their Curated with Love calendar, and it contained over 40 beauty products, makeup, skin, and hair, and it had 19 full sizes in it. So we don't know exactly what the details are yet on what's going to be in this year's, but that just gives you an idea overall from last year's. All right, so the way that they are handling it is, okay, and I reached out to them. I tried to do a little chat, and they did not want to commit to telling me, like, basically, the way they're handling it is hands off. So they're going to do it with what's called DDU, which means delivery duty unpaid basis. So that means they'll ship it to us. So they will be shipping to the US, but it's our responsibility to figure out what our duties are going to be on it. So they're not handling that side of it. So what that means is that all of their orders will get shipped from their UK warehouse, and we are liable for our custom duties and our local taxes. And where this is the case, we are going to pay these costs in order to release our order from customs before it gets delivered to us. So it's up to us to figure out what our duties are on this one. So we're not going to really know, probably. This one's going to be the one that's going to give us a surprise. They haven't decided to calculate this ahead of time. So what we could do is we can go try to plug it into our little Tariff, website and try to calculate what that'd be. So say like it's going to be around the same amount, like 315, I would typically probably try to say, okay, probably 10%. I don't know. Like I might even say, hey, let's charge ourselves 20%, to be safe, to cover like what it used to be, any extra like insurance, freight, the 10% extra. And this does qualify, it's above the $181 like kind of cutoff. So we're definitely going to be tariffed for it. I think we're just not going to know, honestly. I think we're going to have to like take our chances on that one if we want it. So it's probably going to be a matter of one of us influencers going and buying this and seeing how much we're on the hook for, and let you guys all know. I don't know. Now, I will say that in going to buy like their beauty box that didn't reach the tariff amount, so it didn't get tariffed in the duties, but the delivery fee itself was about $20 to get it here to the US. So you definitely want to calculate in that it'll probably cost $20 or so, somewhere in the $20 range to deliver it here. And I feel like we may want to be on the safe side and just assuming it might cost us what P. Louise was anticipating, an extra $100-something on top of that, if we want to play it really safe. But again, since I don't know where some of that extra like $70 came from, from what I feel like it should cost in my calculations. I don't know. It's a mystery. I wish I knew more. And if I find out more, I will definitely let you know. All right, now let's take a look at Liberty London, another very coveted, really good one with lots of deals too. And they do have a wait list. They have a US option. We do have an idea of what's in this one. Actually, people are actually already doing spoilers videos on this one. I've seen a few floating out there. You can catch some spoilers. If you want me to do a whole breakdown of the spoilers in this, I can go into detail, but I will probably go ahead and list out what's in it a little bit for you, just general terms. But overall, it's got 30 covetable makeup, skincare, and fragrance finds, including 20 full-size products. It is worth over $1,690, and it's going to cost $365. So, it's got brands like Jones Road, Lisa Eldridge, Augustine Bader, you know, lots of luxury picks. Another little feature about it is there's going to be 5 of these that have a golden lucky ticket. So hidden in the drawers, you could be the one that gets the lucky ticket, which will have like $1,000 to spend at Liberty. So pretty cool. All right. So, last year, I believe it was a little less, but somewhat similar. So here's how they're going to handle like the duties and whatnot. So they will have theirs on a delivery duty paid basis. So DDP this time, which means they will wrap it up in the charges. They will let you know ahead of time what your charges are going to be. I don't know what those are yet though, but they will actually estimate it for you. So it's not going to be a surprise to you. They will take care of it. And so if you're going to select a shipping destination outside of the UK, your order will be fulfilled by Global E, their international partner, and they contract with them and whatnot. So it will probably have some kind of processing fee with them too, but it should all be taken care of by Liberty London. So that's going to be one you're not going to be surprised on. They will let you know the fees on it. I just don't know yet what those fees are. And as far as the delivery goes though, not so much the duty side, but the delivery, anything over $200 is free shipping, even to the US. So that's what they say on in their delivery policy. So it may not include the shipping for this because that's easily over $200. So we have to wait and see how they calculate the duties, but it should be that they're going to handle it for you. All right, next we have Self Fridges, which is another one that is really, really good too. That, you know, covers a lot of different brands also. So this one has not dropped their wait list yet. It should be any time. It's expected to launch probably around like October, just based on the last few years. Contains over like, well, 1,000 pounds. So even more in US dollars of retail value. So this is another really good one. Very popular brands. Last year included Divinus, Gizu, Fenty, Charlotte Tilbury, many more. And usually a mix of makeup, skincare, hair care, sometimes even nail products. And last year was priced at 250 pounds. You know, that's probably close to like 300 US dollars or so. Maybe like right under, something like that. All right, so how they handle shipping though, even though it has not been announced yet, I just wanted to touch on them because it's just another really good one. It looks like they will probably cover it for you too, so that you'll know what to expect ahead of time. It's not going to be your responsibility. It looks like they do deduct for the VAT though, UK VAT, which I think that stands for value added tax. I thought it was more of an import thing, but they will deduct for that and any flat rate delivery charge. So they're going to do delivery, which it looks like that would probably be an added fee. I don't see anything that says it's free shipping. And then any duties or taxes based on where you reside. So it does sound like they're going to incorporate that in. I have not seen where they've said they won't deliver to the US or anything. So far, they still have on their site that they ship to the US. Just, you know, there's extra fees and whatnot. So probably a hefty duty again, and we don't know what that is yet, but at least it sounds like This is one that we probably would get access to, is my guess, and that they will at least let you know eventually at some point how much you would actually be paying in duties, so it's not a surprise and your responsibility. All right, there is also Harrods that everybody waits on, and apparently this is like this wait list usually fills up very, very fast. They have not announced it, but it should be coming any moment, apparently. And it sounds like we'd be getting 3 calendars this year, but it does sound like last year there were 3 also. There was a main one and a perfume one and a hair one. So probably going to be similar. I don't know the pricing yet. Don't know what's in them, and I don't know how they're going to handle the US yet, but just keeping it on the radar. Then we have the Sephora, only the UK version has dropped. Now there is a Sephora US advent calendar typically, but here is my like pet peeve. Everything happens in the UK first, and then it comes here. So the UK gets theirs first, and that's even the case with like MAC. When we get to talking about the MAC one, they're a Canadian founded brand, but they have their headquarters, I guess, in the United States, but yet they still launch in UK first. What gives? So anyway, it annoys me. Why is the US always so behind, guys? But anyway, so the Sephora UK version has dropped, and they will not ship here, but we just need to wait for our US version. So the contents that are going to be in this year's are not available yet. Last year it featured like 40 products, 24 of them were full size, and you're getting a lot of the brands you shop at Sephora, Charlotte Tilbury, NARS, Glossier, and Tatcha. Here's what I don't know, and somebody let me know who has seen both or done both. I don't know if the UK one is the same one as the US, or if they have different things in them. Let me know if you guys know that. Maybe leave me a comment and I can pin it. That's one thing I'd be interested in, because when we get to the MAC, they can be quite different between the US version and the UK version. Okay, I think that was all of the ones that are kind of like are UK based, but that are kind of multiple brands in them, that aren't just one specific brand other than the P. Louise. Now let's talk about one specific brand, but still in the in the UK. So we do have Lush. They have their pre-order out, so they will start shipping early September already. And we do know what all is inside of it. We do actually have a good bit of details. So let me know if you want me to bring you a separate video on this and just show you. I can kind of tell you and summarize. There's bath bombs, bubble bars, body lotions, dusting powder, shower gel, soaps, and they're typical things. They've even got a candle, an oud perfume, vanilla oud perfume, and the artwork on the box is going to be created by Shruti Godvi, who works with Artbox. And Artbox London is a charity that runs a program of workshops, like art workshops, to help those with learning disabilities. So, and like neurodivergent artists, definitely a mission after my own heart. Now, with their advent, they do not ship to the US. I have emailed them and heard back from them. So they said they won't be shipping anything from the UK to the US. However, I think I get the impression there will be a US version. They do have a Lush US website, so it sounds like we might still have access through the US one, but it has not dropped yet. So I'll have to keep you posted on that. All right, there's also the Body Shop. This one is also launched in the UK, but not here in the US. There's usually a US version though, where we're able to access them better in the US, if I remember that correctly from before. Sounds like they've got a couple, the Advent of Goodness and Advent of Wonders. It should have lots of different popular skincare, body care, bath products. Some include shea body butter, mango hand balm, coconut shower cream, lots of goodies. So it's valued at about 79 pounds or about $105 for us. Goodies worth 148 pounds or about 187 US dollars. 24 surprise treats for your skin to be glowing and spirits lifted all season. Not available to purchase in the US yet. There's also Revolution, which is UK based, and they have the wait list now available for the Revolution Advent calendar, priced at $50 50 pounds, sorry, which is about $66.80 for us in the US. It launches August 16th, specific date. We do know what all is inside this. This was definitely available last year for the US too, so I don't know much beyond that on like how they're handling it. So as far as duties go or anything like that, but I feel like there was a US version last year, so I think we just need to wait till the US one drops too. There's also the Jo Malone Advent calendar. The waitlist is out for it too. It's also UK based. Don't exactly know when. It's usually closer to the holiday season, but they say usually early September. So hopefully around then. It should be able to be accessed and purchased in the US. So you should be able to order it from other retailers possibly. So that's what they're saying, anything. So while the calendar is UK based product, there are retailers that will carry it here. And that does make sense because I feel like it was available last year too, directly in the US. So hopefully we don't have to deal with all the, you know, duties. Hopefully, we'll see. Don't know much more about this calendar, just that the wait list has been announced. Then there is also MAC. As I was saying, so MAC, you know, we'll have our US version. There will definitely be a US one at some point too, but it's the UK one that has been officially announced and that there is a wait list for now in the UK. And this was about 180 pounds last year, so about $240 US. But again, we'd be looking more at the US one, so we don't know yet. In the US, we had the MAC 24K holiday advent calendar, and it had about 24 items, some full sized, and it was about $220 with free US shipping. So hopefully we'll have that again too, but it's just the UK version right now that has the wait list. And then there's of course Charlotte Tilbury's advent calendar too. Last year it was the Beauty Treasure Chest of Love, I think, 12 full size and travel sizes, retailed for about $324, but was only $227. I don't feel like it was a huge value and savings. It's more if you're just a Charlotte Tilbury lover and you want a little discount on some things with her line. And of course she's UK based, but she also has the US site. So we should be able to easily access that through the US too. So that covers pretty much the UK ones. Let's talk a little bit more about the ones that are actually US based. So a pretty good one with fairly good value is from Revolve. Last year it was like $150. It had brands like Summer Fridays, Charlotte Tilbury, Too Faced, some of those. I think it was about 24 products. You had a pretty good mix of like full size, I think. It was a good bit, like good value for the dollar. But it's not out yet. It has not been announced, no wait list or anything yet, but it is US based, so we shouldn't have any issues with tariffs on that. Should be somewhere between September and October that it launches. There's also Bluemercury, which is a personal favorite like brand or store of mine. I love Bluemercury, all like high-end, amazing edits and whatnot that they do. And it is US based. So we can really look here, I think. They did have before like the 31 Days of Dazzle, lots of different products featured like Chantecaille, Diptyque, Elta MD, Sisley Paris, so some high-end brands. So hopefully we could have something really good in this one. I'm kind of looking forward to that without having to pay tariffs, but it's not out yet, has not been advertised, so don't have details for you yet, but stay tuned. And then we have all of our like department stores here that do an advent calendar. You have Neiman Marcus, so they will typically do one around like October, November. We have not heard the release date yet for 2025. I don't know a wait list on that one. Pretty pricey usually. Lots of different brands. Sometimes I find that our US ones are not as good as the UK ones though, from their department stores. We also have Bloomingdale's, not available yet either, possibly around October or November. We have Macy's. I did do the little Macy's last year. It was all like deluxe sizes, but you know, it was a good chance to try a lot of like high-end things. So I didn't mind it too much. It wasn't quite as pricey with doing the little baby one. They had like the fuller size and then the smaller size. I think they had some Macy's favorites and like fragrance too. So I did end up going for that one. I had a full unboxing. and they're, you know, US based. Now, Macy's is struggling this year, so hopefully they're still going forward with theirs for 2025. You also have Bloomingdale's too, which is US based also, probably October, November. So again, I don't have many details on it. Another high-end one, pretty expensive. Again, not as good as the UK ones. All right, guys, so that is my list. That is everything that I kind of have seen so far, especially ones that we really are familiar with here in the US and have done kind of in the past, I think, that are very popular here. There's a lot more launching in the UK too, but I think a lot that we just don't even, they're not even on our radar, like boots and look fantastic. The glossy box, like all those things we used to have here and we don't anymore. They've kind of just faded into oblivion. But I kind of tried to cover a lot of the ones I think we tend to do here. And for those who are outside of the US, I'm sorry it was focused a lot on us with the info on the tariffs and stuff, but maybe it will still help you guys outside the US too. These are still some of your options as well, and maybe you don't have to worry as much about the tariffs as we do. You lucky dogs. All right, so be watching for some part 2 and 3 and however many videos. I will probably bring you some single spoilers videos on some of the advents that I see and what I can get my hands on and choose and select. I'll bring you unboxings as well. And I'm really considering this trip to London, and let me know if you guys have any feedback about that you could provide me. I'll try to keep you updated. No promises. It's going to depend on a lot of factors. I might not end up doing it, but I did want to plant the seeds that this could be a thing. And would you like me to? And if so, which ones would you like me to try to prioritize while I'm there? If it happens. This is a big, big dream. We'll see. All right, guys, that wraps it up. Definitely stay tuned and pop that subscribe so that you can stay tuned on all the Advent calendars for Advent season, and any more updates I'll get on duties and the prices and stuff. I will definitely keep you posted either in another video or in my community tab where I post a lot and keep you updated. You don't want to miss it all. And all the other beauty boxes we do here, and the regular beauty too that is apart from Advent calendar season. All right, so thanks for watching this long. Let me know any insight and anything gaps you can fill in that I did not cover today. I would appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys all on the next one. Bye.